thought it would be wonderful to have this opportunity to engage with business leaders here in Canada. So we welcome this opportunity to talk about our country, and a country that some of you have chosen to invest in, and a country that many of you are considering investments in, and a country that some of you have already signed checks to invest in. South Africa and Canada enjoy very strong bilateral relations that have stemmed from history, and it's been a history of solidarity and friendship between our two countries. We learned much from the Constitution of Canada, particularly the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Canada provided us with valuable support during our march to democracy. We cooperate with Canada in a number of international forums, some of which are the UN, the G20, the Commonwealth, and the Keynote Group. It is therefore fitting that we should meet here to further deepen the relations between our two countries, particularly in areas of trade and investment. A number of you are already invested in South Africa, for which we thank you. Canada's approach to many of these things, very refreshing, very progressive, which is very aligned to our general approach to issues that have to do with the multilateral system, that what we should be seeking to do as countries in the world is to strengthen the multilateral system and not resort to protectionism, and to resort more to open trade, so that through trade we can engender greater growth in the economies of various countries in the world. Our country has entered what we have characterized as a new dawn, a new era in which our people are glowing, are looking forward to an improvement of many things in their lives. Business confidence and investor sentiment in our country is improving. We do a lot of work now with business in terms of addressing key challenges that our country faces, and government is also responding to create a dynamic and enabling business environment that will promote greater productive investment. Now, according to a Goldman Sachs report which was issued at the beginning of the year, South Africa, they had suggested, is regarded as a hot emerging market with lucrative opportunities for both foreign and domestic investors. This new dawn, because this is what this new dawn is really all about as well, is to make sure that there is policy certainty, there is political stability, and there is credibility in what we do as government. We are therefore investing significantly in making sure that these reforms that have to be embarked upon do indeed happen, so that the attraction that we can be to foreign investors becomes much more solid. And we are working as government urgency to guide the economy towards a more sustainable growth trajectory and to restore South Africa to investment-grade status. This has created a wonderful platform for us to be able to embark on a number of initiatives with the business community, initiatives that are going to stand us in good stead as we move on. We are working to significantly also increase the levels of investment in the economy. We know that foreign direct investment is the critical driver to the economic growth of our economy, or for the growth of our economy, for both developing and developed economies. It strengthens productive capacity through the transfer of technology and knowledge, and this is something that we are focusing on. We have decided to embark on what others would call an ambitious investment drive that aims to raise 100 billion US dollars in the next 5 years into fixed investment in our economy. And they are working towards a major investment conference that will take place in South Africa in October later this year. It is at this conference that we plan to announce several deals that we believe we will have been able to reach with a number of potential investors. And when we get to the conference, we're then able to talk about real investments that are going to be put into the ground in South African soil. We want to remove all obstacles for investment to flow into our country. Intra-African trade and investment that we will be able to grow the economies of a number of African countries, to develop them, but it will also help to diversify them so that they become much more attractive to investors. And key to the success of our efforts is a firm partnership with business and labor. And we also want to see that being played out in our various other African countries. We've introduced Independent Power Producers Program that has unlocked significant investment in renewable energy while contributing to a more diverse energy mix and advancing our efforts to mitigate climate change. Mining, an industry that has been in decline in our country over many years, but which still holds huge potential for job creation, for growth, for beneficiation, transformation, and empowerment. We will shortly, for those of you who are investors in mining, we will shortly be finalizing a mining charter in consultation with the industry, labor, affected communities, and our stakeholders. I know that many of you are interested in this because South Africa and Canada are linked almost at the hip on issues that have to do with mining. And some of our companies are invested here like De Beers, and some of you are invested in our mining industry. So I can give you assurance now that the issues that have to do with our mining charter are being finalized, and they will be finalized. We're therefore looking to Canada as an important source of investment, an important partner and collaboration in our mining sector as we finalize this. As we accelerate land reform, including land redistribution, we are going to make sure that we secure the property rights of South Africans. And in respecting the property rights of South Africans, we must also respect the property rights of labor tenants, the rural poor. So for those who have fears, who have concerns about the manner in which we will handle the land question, I would say we are going to do it within the constitutional provisions of the agreement, the compact that we've reached as South Africans, and we are going to make sure that everybody's views are taken on board. And we will be as responsible as Nelson Mandela was, as he crafted and he led us to craft our new democracy. South Africa has a number of attractive sectors, such as mining, oil and gas, and a number of others. And we've established special economic zones and industrial incentive programs to encourage investors to take up opportunities in all this. We are hard at work to remove the constraints that were evident to many of you, and we are saying that we are open for business. We've established a culture of being able to have things properly discussed in South Africa, and we've established a culture of being an open government that is willing to receive ideas, proposals, even criticism from our various partners, be it business, be it labor, be it communities. Our job is to build a South Africa that can win, so that every concern that anyone can raise. Whatever we do in our country, we are going to do in a responsible manner, taking into account the interests of our people, taking into account, making sure, yes, that we grow the economy of our country for the benefit of all South Africans. And we are very pleased to be here. And for those who have invested in our country, we welcome you as our partners. We welcome you as our fellow travelers on this journey. And for those of you who have not yet invested, we want to invite you to look at South Africa with keen eyes, because there are great opportunities to be found in South Africa. So welcome to South Africa. Thank you very much.